All right, I just need to say it. The Detroit Lions have a player that is about ready to absolutely break out against the Atlanta Falcons. I think he is primed to have a massive game and put not only Detroit Lions fans on notice, but the nation on notice. Fantasy footballers everywhere, along with NFL linebackers everywhere. And that player is none other than Sam Laporta. So if you want to hear about why he's going to be a breakout, please tune in. But first, let me just say, hey, if you like the channel, please subscribe. It'll give you, info on why or it'll tell you when you can watch our videos, when we put out new ones, all that kind of good stuff. Give us a like and then leave a comment. We love comments. We love the Lions, even after they lose a game to the Seattle Seahawks when we all thought they should have won it, even when there's a lot of injuries. So why in the world am I talking about Sam Laporta as a just clear he's going to be a breakout star? And I think it starts in a lot of areas, but I was looking at this one, and this doesn't have anything to do with real football. I just thought it to be funny. Sam Laporta is a must-start tight end in fantasy football until further notice. I agree with that. He's going up against and then like sometimes you can learn things about real football from fantasy football, like things like this. He faces the Atlanta Falcons, who are allowing the 10th most fantasy points to tight ends. Okay. And it's not like they played ridiculously good tight ends. All right. 9.15 per game. And this is the next thing that I'm going to bring up, but I don't want to get rid of it yet. So you're playing a Falcons defense who has been pretty good, but they're giving up points to the tight end. You combine that with the fact that they now are getting back former Detroit Lion Jeff Okudah, who you might want to target. I understand that, but he should shore up that secondary on the outside even more, meaning that we are going to be looking to attack the middle of the field. We are going to be attacking the linebackers, or if we can get a mismatch with Laporta in the middle of the field. That is one reason. I think the even bigger reason on this is who the Lions don't have. And it's two people. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be out or limited on Sunday. I think with a turf toe, it almost is never immediately good. I'm worried this thing will plague him for the rest of the year. I hate turf toe, if that is in fact what he has. But it says toe. They're talking about putting a steel plate into both shoes. Like, man, oh man, this is hard when your best offensive weapon gets hurt like that. So who got the targets down the stretch when St. Brown couldn't play? It was Laporta. It was Goff finding Laporta over and over again. We know Josh Reynolds is going to get targets. We know that. We know we're going to find gadget plays to get Khalif Raymond targets, but there's going to need to be a reliable target. That was Sam Laporta down the stretch. He was already doing good, but I think he's going to be a target monster in this game. I really do firmly believe that. Another person that's out is David Montgomery. And I know what you're thinking, like, why in the world would David Montgomery being out have anything to do with Sam Laporta breaking out? Okay, here's my reason for it. There are flat out not as many just pure running opportunities for the Lions in this game. I think that our run to pass ratio is going to look different. Ben Johnson is not going to be as apt, as excited to hand the ball off to Craig Reynolds as he was to David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs is not big enough to play 80, 90% of the snaps. Jahmyr Gibbs is not the running back, and the Lions have said he's not the running back that is going to get 20 carries and 10 targets. That's too much, especially as a rookie. It's too much. He's not Bijan Robinson. Like, Bijan Robinson might be able to do that from game to game, more like 20 carries, 5 targets, but that's just not a thing. Those targets will have to go somewhere else. And if you're throwing the ball more, and if you have Jahmyr Gibbs in there, he is going to take a linebacker. He is going to take a safety that's going to have to line up over him as well. There won't be as much attention on Laporta. So, yeah, I think Laporta is ready to break out. And some of the numbers back me on this. Laporta has 11 targets this year through 2 games, 10 catches. That's really good. Okay. But there are more stats that show him to be better. When he came out of Iowa, what we said was when we saw him, he kind of had that yak knack. Is that a rhyme? Yak knack? I think so. All right. He had a knack for yak, which is yards after catch. And we were wondering if it would translate to the NFL. He is averaging 10.2 yards per catch. 5.3 of those come after the catch. He is averaging more yards after the catch than he is before. He is becoming that yak monster that we want him to be. His overall grade is a 76.5. He's already showing to be a good blocking tight end, better, and by good, I mean low 60s, in run blocking, already better than TJ Hawkinson was. He is already better in his first 2 games as a professional tight end at blocking than TJ Hawkinson was at the end of his 4th year or whatever when we traded him. And so he doesn't have to go off the field. He can play consistently, and he wants to be in the game. He is a tough guy. We all saw that catch where he was like, he could only get like one hand in there. The defender should have caught it. And he's like, no, this is my ball. And it almost allowed us to win that game. Plays like that. Him and Goff were the sole reasons we got back in that game. So Goff already trusts him. And we have learned when Goff has trust in you, when he has faith in you, he will get you the football. So I think he is ready to absolutely break out against the Falcons. Now, they're not dumb. They know this same exact thing. They know everything I'm telling you, right? So they're going to try and prevent it. And this is when he has the opportunity to show that he is a really good player. Last week, the player that I pointed out was Brian Branch. And I thought Branch actually did a pretty good job against. I thought he was the guy that actually did better than anybody else on the defense. Like, he actually played pretty good. He wasn't phenomenal or anything like that, but he put together a good run defensive grade, a good tackling grade, an okay coverage grade. He wasn't out there getting burnt every single time. Now this week, I'm telling you, the guy is Sam Laporta. Now, I know it's an easy thing to be like, well, so you're taking a guy who's already had success and you're going to say he's going to have more success? No. I'm not saying he's going to have more success. I'm saying that Sam Laporta is going to go from being the guy who has 5 catches for 50 yards to the guy who has 8 catches for 100 yards. And that's big for a tight end. And we're going to need him to do that if we want to beat the Falcons. So, hey, what do you think? Is Laporta the guy? How much confidence do you have in him? Leave a comment below. Like I said before, subscribe and like the channel. Thanks for watching. See ya.